So now we've narrowed down our total available market down to a regional level, and now we've identified the primary regions and what our strategies are for on a regional level. Now we need to break it down to a country level, but instead of going initially straight to a country level, first of all we need to identify what our target industries are. This is the first step. What are our target industries? So with this product and solution, it was industrial IoT. Yeah. So my top three industries, can't do too many, you guys. Just keep it simple. Top three industries I understood was manufacturing, consultancies, and telecommunications. Yeah. But because consultancies is a bit of a consultancies can be anything. So I put it down to in terms of industrial level, I put manufacturing, telecommunications, and technology. Yeah. So those are my three: manufacturing, telecommunications, technology. Now, bearing in mind, all the way through this, I've been using a culture. I've been analyzing this. If you think about what I said on the previous section, even though I didn't really go in and dive into the cultural dimensions, there was a cultural dimensions that were driving my decisions all the way through that. Yeah. So what were the cultural dimensions? Let's just quickly look at that. What were the cultural dimensions which were driving my decisions, which were deciding whether I select those countries, or whether I don't select those regions, countries. What were those things? So we're looking at the time orientation. Did these guys have a long versus a short-term time orientation? Were they something that's very traditional, or were they or they're very innovative, tech savvy? Yeah, we're looking at their cultural identity. Do you know what I mean? Are they somebody, very, patriotic, very proud, you know what I mean? Or are they somebody, very open-minded to dealing in embracing new cultures, new customs, Was looking at the masculine femininity, dimensions. Are they, competitive? Or are they something that's, looking at this, collaborative kind of approach? We're looking at the relationship focus. Are they, relationship driven, or are they, task driven, deal focused? There was also this avoidance of uncertainty index in there. Are they risk averse? Or are they risk takers? And finally, the high power distance. Is it a culture which is a hierarchical culture, or are they very a very collectivist and kind of a flat kind of decision making culture. So these are the same dimensions really that's going to be we're looking at now, but now we're looking at it at a on an industrial level. Yeah. So basically, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select obviously the main prime target market and just break down for you as opposed to doing the whole thing. Yeah. So let's just focus Europe. That was my prime market. Let's focus on Europe. So this is what it looked like. I got my map of Europe. So first of all, what did I do here? What I did was simple. First of all, I took out my three industries. So we got in green, the top manufacturing industries in Europe. So all they're the ones in green. We got Germany, we got UK, we got Italy, France, Switzerland, Poland, Czech, Netherlands, etc. Yeah. The telecoms are in blue. So we've got the telecommunications company. Italy's here. Turkey, big telecommunications. Russia, Sweden, Finland, Spain, and then we got the tech in yellow. The techs are the yellow. Yeah, these are the tech markets. Yeah. So just quickly now, guys, you don't need to know all this. Chat GTP is free. It will tell you. Just put in there top. Telecommunications markets. So top 10 telecommunications, top 10 manufacturing, top 10. Whatever your industry is, and you put that in there. Now you've got to add the cultural factor. So the ones in red are the cultural factors which I've pulled out for some cultural reasons. Yeah. Now you can see here Some of this might be surprising to you. I pulled out France. Why did I pull out France? France is very patriotic, very, very patriotic country. It's one of the biggest markets in Europe. But if you don't speak French, if you haven't got those connections with France, it is going to be very, 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 very strong relationship driven. If you don't, if you can't successfully navigate the nuances of those relationships, you're not going to get very far. And I don't speak French, and I don't have many connections in France, so I pulled it out. Typically, Germany, you could say that they are very risk averse and high avoidance of uncertainty. But in this instance, it was a German company I'm working for. It's a German company, so that alleviated that cultural that cultural dimension. Yeah, Estonia. It is good for the tech, but it's just small. It's just too small. It just wasn't worth my time. Yeah, Russia again. It was Russia with telecommunications, but again, very relationship driven. I don't understand the culture. I don't have the network there around there. So I alleviated that. I removed that one, and also Turkey. Now Turkey is very big with telecommunications. Again, very relationship driven culture. I don't have the contacts and a network in that area. So again, this it is not sometimes these cultural dimensions, you've got to look at it from your own perspective. Bearing in mind there is a cultural dimension in terms of their general culture, but it's you that's doing the work, or your team is doing it. So you've got to look at, as a leader, you've got to look at what are the resources, what are the skills that I have within my team available to me that's going to help us to either be successful or not. Yeah. Poland and Czech, the reasons why we pulled these ones out, it's not really because of the relationship, whatever. They're very close to Germany, so we had that influence. But the problem was it was the currency. It was the currency. It was the fact that I'm selling a German solution, very high quality, very high value. So obviously I've mapped out the solution first. I'm looking at the quality, the complexity, the price, and the functionality. So it was a very, very complex and high value solution. So that automatically, knocked out some of the countries in Europe which their currency or their currency is not as strong, and as a result, they'll be very price sensitive. Yeah. So that was why we knocked out those ones. Now you notice that with Russia and with Turkey, even though there's a red cross in it, there's actually a circle there. Now, why is that? Even though this is a relationship-driven culture, and I said I don't have the network here. If we look at the solutions that they were interested in, it was a telecom solutions. Yeah. Now, why do telecom companies need data? What do they need data? So telecom companies, they are looking in terms of IoT, they're looking at the sensors, and looking at they want to understand the amount of data the sensors. So they want to obviously utilize. They want to understand the number of connections. 3G, 4G, 5G connections, and the growth of those connections over the next 12, 24, 5 years. That's what they're looking for. That's the information. So they're not. And in order to do that analysis properly, they need a wealth of data. They need it from multiple sources. And one of the key strengths of the solution I was providing was the analysis that we provided on that data. Yeah. So as a result, even though I didn't have the relationship there, and it would have been, if I'd sit there and to actually sell and actually try and penetrate that market, it would have been difficult and been challenging for me because of the data and the solution I was providing. These guys would still be drawn to us, providing I did a good marketing strategy, providing that I presented a solution in a way which these guys would find it, they would come. I wouldn't need to actively go and target them. All I needed to do was market my solution in a way which they would come to me. So in that sense, that's why they had a circle around them. I couldn't target them, but I could create an effective marketing campaign which would draw them to me. Yeah. So now you see, this is now we've done, completed the second stage, the second level down of our profiling activities, and we're narrowing down. We're getting down closer to our target market. So this is your industrial analysis. The next level down is the opportunity analysis, and I'm going to take you through that in a minute.